Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Urio. Tonight, Blazar returns after a 77 episode hiatus from us. Joined, as always, by the Beanied one, Gerard. Wannabe Nicolas Cage, Brera.
Cage is out. Hello. What's going on, guys? Hello, my fellow nerds. What's up? Hello. Hey there.
And then Lion's Mane, pseudo champion.
Not pseudo. Don't put pseudo in front of that.
Jason Validio is joining us as well.
Hey, man.
How's it going, guys? How's it going tonight? It's not
already trying to give him the asterisk.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, he's got an asterisk. Yeah, Jared. We actually did the Monopoly in person last month when
you're looking at 3 winners because it went, the belt went 3 times.
The belt did go 3 times.
Boom! I did win. I still don't know how I did, but I won.
One and the 4-player Crashing Game Night belts.
Still really don't know how I won, but I was so excited when I did. Yeah,
Jared he almost stopped playing. He was like, "Yo, I don't want to play anymore."
Yeah,
didn't want to defend it. Like, what kind of champion would you be, man?
I wanted to mount the belt right next to me on my desk. All good. I'm retired. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So Jared, how you been? Let's give our listeners an update because you've been up to a lot.
Yeah.
Been crazy busy, man. Back in January, I signed a pretty big record deal, and I made this kind of brand shift over to Blazar, which is kind of what I've been doing all year. And it was a pretty cool thing because it was like a production deal and an artist deal and a publishing deal, and kind of all rolled into one. Wow. So I just kind of rebranded myself.
Nice.
And then we had a pandemic, so then I came home. And
did that just put everything on like kind of hold, like everything's signed, but have you gotten started on what you've been trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, like we just adapted like everyone kind of had to do, so it's become more of like a virtual thing. Obviously we're not touring. Like I had a bunch of festivals and things lined up. We were supposed to fly to the UK and like do this whole thing, and that didn't happen. But what did happen, which was actually worked out good for me, is just tons and tons of like content creation. And like I started getting like lots of collabs with like really cool people. I did this track with Dax, and I actually just finished one up with Afro Man, last week. If you can,
oh, sick.
So I've been zooming with Afro Man this pandemic.
Nice.
Some other rad guys and like all the stuff for my record, and just tons and tons of collabs and like film and TV sync, and actually it like really made my stuff kind of blow up in a different way than any of us kind of anticipated. And I've kind of turned into this like almost producer, like Daft Punk entity. And I have all these kind of rappers and hip hop people and artists like calling who want to do collabs now, which wasn't really my initial vision. But now it's like, I kind of think I want to follow this down where it is this more like of a Daft Punk thing where we can bring in like different people and do all these kind of rad tracks. And none of this would have happened without, having to sit in my basement and just work on music 20 hours a day for the last 7 months. So, that part's been okay. The other parts, like, I don't eat a lot, haven't been outside. I'm like pasty white. But
so how does that feel though, Jared? Is that when you have like names like Afro Man that are saying, "Hey, I want to work with you"? Well, yeah, how does that make you feel compared to where you were last year?
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it's been this just slow kind of like incline thing. And the Afro Man's actually, it's going to be coming out with another artist that I ended up producing and writing for. So there's like that whole thing that I can talk about once we do all of that. But it has been like a really weird experience and this weird paradigm shift. And it only kind of happened in the last like 3 or 4 months where I was getting like really big emails from just random like massive artists that were just kind of reaching out, and they're like, "Hey, I really dig this kind of sound that you're doing," because I'm literally just making it all by myself now. It used to be like, we go to the studio and hang out with a bunch of dudes, but now it's just like me down here for endless hours and weird lights and tweaking sounds, making things. It's kind of been fun and refreshing and cool. And then the label really got behind it. So it turned into like this just grinding gruel where I've been doing literally probably 90 to 110 hours a week for like months now. And just nuts.
Oh, wow.
How's your wife handling that?
My wife is not impressed. No, I mean, she's like super supportive, and like she sees kind of like, you know, especially in the music industry and stuff, when you see like kind of daylight, you kind of have to chase it and push hard, and she's super supportive of that. But yeah, she's definitely tired of like just the crazy hours and, you know, taking away from family time, because I have a 2-year-old too, and it's very taxing, you know, for sure, because you got to kind of have to make time for everything. And luckily, like Harper, now she's old enough, she likes to hang out in the studio and kind of fiddle around with synths and stuff with Daddy, so like that part's been kind of cool. And it's a whole new life. It's been a whole new like just way to kind of commingle in this new ecosystem, you know, because we're all kind of figured out what it is going to be like moving forward, you know.
Well, congrats on that, man, because that says a lot about your work, that you're getting all of these requests, especially during like this pandemic. You kind of inceptioned an idea and you went with it and it worked out. Dude, that's great.
Yeah,
Kudos,
thanks.
man.
Yeah, and all the time that you're putting in too, man. You know, like
Yeah.
all that work, all that time, and all that work is definitely.
It's got to be great that it's paying off, and congratulations,
it's
dude.
great
That's
to
awesome.
hear that, you know.
Well, thanks, guys. That's right.
Yeah. But in between time, have you been able to get any games going or playing or?
Oh, dude, like you guys know, I'm a religious gamer, and for me, and I think for a lot of hardcore gamers, it's almost this kind of like mind decompression thing. Right?
Yeah,
Go
definitely.
to that place for like 2 or 3 hours, and so like when I get out of the studio, I've been like editing for 12 or 14, or you know, just like you, Matt. You know, we talk about it all the time, like the insane editing, how it just drains your brain. You know, like the video game, kind of like I just expand and forget about shit for a little bit, and you know.
Yeah,
So
and you just want to just like relax, unwind, and
yeah,
blow something up, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, give me a second, guys. Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, guys. So let's get into the news now. So it came out that Jared Leto is going to be returning as the Joker for the Snyder Cut.
I'm a little bit more hyped on this movie now, on the Snyder Cut. I'm really wondering, like they really did a lot of reshoots then.
They are, and at the same time, that means they're trying to make sure that Suicide Squad is part of that whole thing. I'm just not a fan of Jared Leto as the Joker.
I didn't like it either. I was excited, like when I saw it when it first hit. I think I was pretty stoked because I like this kind of like rad, punky, like cyberpunk almost like version of the Joker.
Yeah.
And then
more modern, you know.
Not so much me. The moment I saw the direction he was going, it wasn't so much my cup of tea. But I wasn't mad at his performance, and I kind of get his decision on wanting to be kind of a like kind of we've never seen the gangster side of Joker, like having henchmen and stuff like that. But I think he went too far gangster. But I still think it was an interesting rendition of Joker. But yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea either.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Forget the mic. We're going AirPods. Anyway, so you know, we'll see how it turns out. I mean, they are, like Jerry, to your point, they are reshooting a ton.
Yeah.
For this, and it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. So, so now let's jump back over to the other side, Marvel. And Jerry, I know you've been collecting the House of M and back into the X-Men. It's come out that they're looking at potentially retconning Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver to actually be mutants. This is some thoughts that are coming out, and a lot of it has to do with the fact is that Marvel just recently put out the Wakanda files, and in it talks about Shuri's notes on the world of the Avengers and whatnot, and she's fascinated by the Infinity Stone, and she actually collected some files on the Scarlet Witch, and they were sourced from Hydra. In those records, the reason Hydra settled in Sokovia was not necessarily so they could be not bothered and they could do everything in peace, but it's because they found a number of genetic anomalies among the Sokovians, which they believed would make the perfect test subjects for the Mind Stone experiments. So the theory is that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were latent. They had the latent abilities, which is all about, remember, in X-Men, at certain points, something triggers the genetic material to just open up and say, cool, here
and
I am.
it activates, yeah.
So that's what they're thinking is that it was the Mind Stone that helped wake up the latent abilities that were already there.
Awesome. That's cool.
So therefore, I think there's your in as far as mutants into the universe, that they're already there.
I think they're going on a little stretch.
Well, no, not necessarily, because that can honestly be the origin of the story of Wanda, because I still think they may be going that the storyline that Wanda creates the multiverse, and then that is how X-Men are created. That, I mean, it still sounds like they might be going that route, but they're just kind of retconning the origin of Wanda, I think, saying that she's already had these powers, but the staff helped it. So they're preparing. I mean, so they're gonna. I think you're right. I think they're preparing to finally debut the X-Men or mutants in some way. Just depends on the next couple projects that they let out, like the WandaVerse and Falcon. There apparently Winter Soldier and Falcon. We're supposed to see a couple mutants too, and there's a rumor that we're going to see Omega Red.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like there's a jailbreak and we see a few like villains get away, and like one of them is like a full-fledged debut of like Omega Red.
I hope they do him correctly.
Yeah, didn't
well they had prop like pictures already with an actor in like prosthetics. It looked pretty sweet. So
wasn't there an Omega Red or something similar in a previous Marvel movie?
Deadpool 2. Yeah, he was the inmate playing chess, but he was in the background. They didn't do anything with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was more of an Easter egg.
Yeah. So let's get on to the gaming news. And something came out today that actually, Jared, you're going to be perfect to weigh in on this. No, it's not politics like your podcast you're part of. But it was one of the creative directors for Alex Hutchinson, who is he's part of Google Stadia. He's one of the studios that Stadia brought out, but he came out with this tweet that stated, streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they use music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as publishers decide to enforce it. The real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and the publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. So Jared, how, as a musician, how do you feel about this? Seeing
go ahead.
Because go ahead. Well, what I was gonna say is because seeing a dev come out and say this about their games is right along in lines with like music, because for a business to use say your music, even though I may have gone out and buy the CD, I still have to buy a license to play it.
Yeah, I mean the whole licensing thing with like streaming and music right now is a huge deal, and basically and that's kind of what's been going on too in the whole like entertainment music industry, especially because like sales and the sale of like music as a thing is pretty much kind of a thing of the past now. Like moving forward, it's all going to be kind of licensure, where we're almost like renting these things, like the stream model or the iTunes model. Like iTunes has basically said that they're going to be discontinuing like the sale of MP3s eventually. Like the whole world moving towards this kind of streaming model. The problem with it is that there isn't really like a good collection system for this. Like it's like the Spotify rates are different than the YouTube rates, that are different than the Google rates, collected by Sound Exchange versus ASCAP. There's all these kind of like PRO companies that have different rates depending on where the medium is, and there isn't really like a solid infrastructure. So you're constantly having like labels fight these like companies like Universal. My label's up, the parent label is Universal, and they're like in a fight with TikTok. So like none of our music is on TikTok right now, and that kind of stuff's going on constantly with all of this shit. And so we haven't really figured out a way to do this. And I think he's right, like he should be worried about that, because once the industry really shifts away from sales, which it basically is now, these labels are going to start coming after streamers and content people and people that are like kind of distributing this content without the license. And I think it is going to be like almost like Napster V2, back when it originally came out, and they were coming after kids in their basement. And it is, but like a lot of streamers like that use my stuff, they just send a quick note and like, hey, can I use this track? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And like that works for like that one collection medium. But the problem is that there's so many different people trying to collect royalties that it's just kind of a mess, man. So like, I don't know.
I think that's interesting that you said that iTunes is looking at eventually moving away from being able to buy the albums and stuff, which kind of, to me, that kind of sucks, because I like to own, own
Same
my
with me.
my
That's
songs
actually kind of scary to me.
Yeah. I mean, the whole model is that music is free. I mean, that's kind of like the mentality that you kind of have to have, is like the actual music, the actual song is free. Like it's kind of the other stuff, ancillary things that you make money from, is like the streaming of the song, or like the merch involving the song or shows or all these other kind of things. But the physical act is like, it's so lost now that like we can't really go backwards.
But yeah, to your point though, Jared, I think he's got a point though. I mean, as angry as it may make some streamers that may listen to us, is that, much like a CD, like, I used to work for Laser Tag Place, and we used to have the music that we played in the arena during the games and stuff, but we had to pay a company for us to be able to play those, because otherwise, if somebody walked in and heard their song being played, they're saying, well, you're profiting off of my music by playing it in the arena, because it's part of your quote unquote experience. I think it's the same thing. Like games, when we buy them, we are buying a license. And this is something we've talked about, even if you own it as a physical disc or you have it as a digital download, you are buying the license. And I think with that is you're streaming something you have a license for a personal use, because in those, if you go look in the terms and agreements, it's saying it's for personal use.
I get
you are
that.
not, and all these streamers, a lot of them are making a load of money.
And the moment,
Twitch and YouTube.
because they are distributing it to the public. They are providing a service, and they are charging for that service. I mean, they should pay. I mean, I get that. They should pay for the product that they're using, obviously, publicly. Even though they did buy it, they bought it for themselves to play for themselves. I mean, that's their right. But the moment they're profiting on it and using it in the public streaming, I get that. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say, and I don't want to like downplay it, but it's like buying a bag of lemons. You can buy a bag of lemons, but what you do with those lemons, that's up to you. Now, if you make it,
that's because that's not a creation of somebody though.
Yeah, but like
a lemon is,
if you buy the lemons and you make a lemon stand selling lemonade, that's just being entrepreneurial. But if you're taking a product that was already made, a
little, like kind of hard line, playing devil's advocate on that. But I do understand, like, oh yeah, like if a streamer were to play a game and they're playing, let's say like GTA 5, super popular, or anything like that,
Fortnite.
I feel that you can create the content via the game, and there should be some sort of like, not as much as compensation, but at least something that's like, hey, like there needs to be like some like creative freedom.
Let me put it this way, Jason. If somebody came after me for my virtual photography, if I had sold it, said gone to display or anything like that, any of those virtual photography shots I take in game, I thoroughly should think about, hey, if I'm going to make a penny off of this, Insomniac, Sony, whoever could very well be coming after me for copyright infringement, which is technically what game content streamers are doing, is copyright infringement.
Well, and the other part of this is too, man, like with people not buying music anymore, this is kind of the lifeblood of artists. It's like we get like our Spotify royalty is 0.00044 a stream. Like it's an insanely low number, right? But that's what we live off of. And to put that into like real life terms, like every million streams is like $4,400 for an artist. So like that's the kind of numbers that we're talking about, because you're not selling records, right? Like if you sell, it's a whole different thing. So when they start, it doesn't have to be a huge royalty, but there has to be some kind of like.
Can I ask you a question about that? Is that low to you?
Yeah,
because that seems low to me.
Oh, dude, it's
stupid low, right?
Isn't that why
$1 million, right?
Yeah, like
isn't that why Taylor Swift pulled her stuff?
Streams, and you only get $4,400.
Yeah, and that's the full royalty, right? So like usually, like in Taylor Swift's case, like her deal is vastly different than mine. Like mine's a 50-50 deal with my label, so like it's always different depending on the thing. But
yeah, but still, the fact that you get the 0.000 like 4% from the streams, this is why I wholesomely agree with it. Like that should be a bigger number.
Yeah, and if it was a big number and everyone was a little bit less greedy, like everything would run a lot smoother. But now we're in this, like everyone's kind of going for the scraps right now, so it's just this constant fight, and I don't know what the answer is, but it is super low. Yeah, so if you're getting 1 million streams a month, you're going to make $50,000 a year.
Damn.
Because I think wasn't it? I don't remember.
That's overall. Like, I mean, not to dive farther, but is that overall like all your songs, or like specific?
That's just Spotify. Like that's just like the Spotify payout, right? But there isn't a whole lot else out there, right? Like you're gonna be on Apple Music and they have their rate, but typically, like unless you're like Drake or someone, like you're not gonna be that huge on all of your platforms. It's like if you're like an indie level or like kind of a major label tier 2, like they're only going to focus their advertising really on one platform, right? They're not going to dilute over all these things. They're going to like hammer one and hope that you peak there and spill over to other.
You tend to go with the most popular one and try and get the most distribution.
Yeah, no, but just like for me to like understand and clarify, it's like 1 million hits on all of your songs combined.
Spotify.
Yeah. No, like if your song had 1 million streams on Spotify,
the one song.
For one song,
one single, yeah.
Okay.
And so when you look at
that, still seems so low for the one single.
Oh, dude, it's low. So like to put that in perspective, it's like really successful artists. Like when you're getting into like the hundreds and 200,000 of monthly listeners, which is like that's kind of churning. Like you have an active, engaged audience, right? Every person listens to like 2 or 3 songs is kind of like the metric around that area. So that's almost like 1 million streams a month, basically, is if you have like that 200,000 monthly listener. And then you can start looking at your artists and kind of gauge, okay, well, they're really not making a ton of money, and then most people that have that kind of thing, the reason they have this engaged audience is because they're constantly funneling money into advertising, right? And like Facebook Biz Manager and Spotify advertising, it's the same game that everyone's playing. It's just the numbers are so low. Like you really have to like work it to get a positive cash flow. And that's when the labels come in and they inject it. And when it gets injected, then you kind of get exponential growth on bigger levels, obviously. But
see, and then when you put it into that perspective, right, Jason, kind of what you were talking about, the content creators, like you look at those devs, right, with all the, like, let's take Cyberpunk, okay, they're undergoing extra crunch to make sure that game comes out in November, okay, they're going to get a bonus off of the sales of the game, but all these content creators are going to go out and make all these videos and stream it, and those content creators are making money by demoing your product.
Yeah. But sometimes
they aren't getting any money.
But sometimes
those devs are not getting kickbacks. They are not.
No. Sometimes they are being like, I don't want to put out names, but I mean, like, some of them are actually making money because the company is paying them to do so. And that's one.
So there are those content creators that if they have a license deal, like if Jared, what was that? What was the studio that you, or the salon that picked up your singles for a while there last year? Haircut. Okay, so you look at them, right? They said, hey, we want to have his music playing in my studio, so we're gonna pay, or in our salon, so we're gonna pay for that, right? So if you have a studio, or like you have, say, CD Projekt Red, right? They want to pay a content creator to, that's all they're gonna do. Yeah, so that contract or that content player is essentially a contractor for the company to destroy it. But think about this, Dr. Disrespect. Okay. Whatever games he's playing, he's not contracted with those companies, but he's making a ton of money from YouTube and then he was making a ton of money with Twitch, right? And by playing all these games, those companies weren't making any money off those streams, but he's making a ton of money by playing their content.
There's always kind of a give and take too. Like some of the label stuff, like if you get on a really big, like if PewDiePie was going to use one of my songs, right? They wouldn't want a collection. They'd be like, go use it. Because there's also the trade-off of like how much exposure and spillage
of exposure. That's where I was going to get to too. Is
That's
like I think it's at the old model where I think these streamers are kind of like using the products and the content in order to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
And
definitely.
it really but the other thing, there isn't any oversight where they didn't pay to use those products.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore it was every time when they're getting up to that height, it's pure profit.
Yeah, it's a system. It's exactly what it is. Like we should have some kind of gateway system or some kind of like licensure thing from the start.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you first start out, when you're using something, I don't think you should be getting charged for it. But I think if you start making up to a certain professional
once you start making
level,
money,
I think that's when you should, when it's like, oh, okay, so now I have to dock up this % for them. Now I'm making money, and then continue growing. But at least you're kind of saved on that. And
even if it's like say 1% of their total, profit off of YouTube, right, goes
from
to
each streamer, that really
studios.
doesn't seem like that doesn't seem like a lot. It just seems like
I
you're
mean,
paying for the licensing.
About 3 times or like hundreds of times what it is right now, right? So it's like
this just always me like this is me playing devil's advocate right now though. But like for me, the best example that I have as a counter argument is Among Us, that was out like 3 years ago, literally made like couple, like maybe 10, like let's say $10,000 in base sale. Once one of these major streamers picked it up, it was like, oh, check this out, guys. All of a sudden, Among Us now is like a multi-million-dollar.
But that's what we're talking about is like, for that
that's
situation, I'm
fine.
sure the company would have been like, don't charge him. He started it all.
No,
like
but,
that's exposure and publication. But when it starts becoming the normal and everyone started jumping on the bandwagon, that's when it needs to be regulated.
So because like, I mean, I'm trying to see where, like, I understand we're getting at this point, but it's all,
like, but there's no
any,
rules
it's all gray.
It's all gray area right now.
Pull it out.
I think here's what I think is if a studio doesn't want to say, doesn't want to charge them, just say, go play it, right? Like Among Us, right? Which kind of funny you brought that up because AOC did a live stream a couple of nights ago of her playing Among Us with a couple of prominent streamers. At the same time, she was talking about her politics and what she's looking at and campaigning on, for New York as a Democrat. But, it was one of those things that she started a stream. She just said, hey, come play Among Us with us. Come watch it. And it was kind of entertaining to watch AOC try and play Among Us.
Funny, yeah.
But I think what they need to do is, hey, if a studio decides I need a cut of that money because you are making a ton of money, right? Then have a gateway system like Jared was saying is, hey, here's what we're going to charge you, okay? But if the studio, like whoever made Among Us, says, hey, this is helping us get exposure, we don't want to have them charge anything, that's fine. Even in that gateway system, which I think is a fantastic idea, is you could have a tier system where it says, hey, these games, if you want to stream them, you're not going to get charged. If you stream these games, this is what the cut's going to be, and so forth and so on.
If you get to a certain level with this game, this is how much you're going to get charged.
Another way that we should think about it, or that it should be too, is like it should be the distributors. Like, I don't think we should put the burden on the content creators. Like YouTube should just pay for their subscriptions, or when you sign up for Twitch and they're $9 a month, like it's just a tax that comes out of that should pay for the royalty, like a does or anything else. There just isn't a federal we should have a federal static rate, you know, for royalty across all of that stuff, for video games, for any kind of medium, and it should just be on the distributor's end. But we don't do that.
Speaking of taxing people, let's talk about NBA 2K. It's a good segue.
Damn it.
Well,
You know,
we know for sure there's a game that's not going to get that many content creators out there.
Right. Yeah, let me get this shared up here,
Last
guys.
time I was on this show, we were yelling about microtransactions. So
Ironic.
This
That's so funny. Yeah, that's
true,
right.
man.
We were, and I think that now with this, so EA, or not EA, NBA 2K rather, had to issue this statement. Okay, as many are aware, in recent years, ads have been integrated into 2K TV segments. Yesterday's 2K TV ad placement impacted our players' experience in a way we didn't intend, as these ads are not meant to run as part of the pregame introduction. This will be fixed in future episodes. Thanks for your continued feedback. Okay, so let's look at this. You spend $60 for a game, $70 if you're going next gen on NBA 2K, and you are being forced to watch ads that cannot be skipped.
That's so annoying.
Like,
It makes me rethink if I want to buy.
This is legit.
Yeah.
So right before you go into the game, right, you're supposed to, they do like these pregame little things and whatnot. And Jerry can speak to that a little bit more because he was playing last year's NBA 2K. But I'm sorry, if you're going to start going this route and put ads into the game to make more revenue for your company, that's bad. That's bad. I mean, granted, I get it. We're talking about licenses, right? And you're paying $70 for the license to play the game, but you're paying full dollar. Now, I could understand if this was a free game. If it was completely free and, you know, then you have to watch some ads or whatever, that's fine. But I'm not going to pay $70 to sit here and, you know, force myself to elongate a game because I got to sit there and watch ads.
Normally, you have to pay to remove ads.
Correct.
No, you're paying to get ads. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I guess it would be like me paying
sucks, dude.
I guess that'd be like me paying $100 to go see Blazar in concert, and then like halfway through the set, it's like all of a sudden, hey guys, I want to talk to you about Sleep Number. You know, do you want to call me? You know,
that's exactly what it is. And it's the worst thing on earth. Like I boycott. I hate this shit, man. Like you pay $70 for a game. Like I did not want to sit through forced ads. Like I think the idea of it being free or something is rad, but EA is literally like the devil. I hate them.
Well, I haven't seen
they
what
really
they
have
in.
like they have no shame.
You gotta think though.
They
this
really
isn't
have
even
no
EA,
shame.
though.
I know, but
this
I
is
feel
2K.
like they started this whole parade.
EA, started it. Yeah, EA started it.
Yeah.
So, for me, the only way I will play the new NBA 2K is if PlayStation gives it to me as part of PlayStation Plus. And even then, I'm going to think about it.
That is how I got started on playing.
It is, right?
It's the one you just leave in the library. Like
maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll wait on that one then. No, I can't do no.
You know, we're already going to be buying like jersey upgrades or like shoelace upgrades.
Oh man.
Yeah. Right.
No.
Oh, it's all about the sneakers.
I'm gonna pay to. Yeah. So not only are you gonna be paying for DLC, which we know they're gonna come out, they'll come out with DLC for it.
Oh, it's a whole dude. There's a whole market.
Yeah.
Right.
There's already a whole market in the game.
Yeah.
There's you can auction for single cards or packs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so let's look at some specs, right? So we haven't seen a lot of games come out with their specs for next gen. So one game that is going to be releasing for Xbox is the Falconer. So we did get the specs come out, right? And it is looking.
Jesus.
So Series X, you're looking at native 4K, 60 frames per second. Great. You're paying for next gen. But if you want to get 120 frames per second, you're dropping down to 1800p. Not even 4K. Load time is 13 seconds. Series S, native is going to run at the performance mode of the Series X. Performance mode for the Series S is going to be 120 frames per second and 1080p. Load time still 13 seconds. But then look at the 1S, right?
Oh my God.
It is going to run at 1080p and 60 frames per second, so the same, resolution as the S. Load time 42 seconds, so it is going to be 4 times longer to load that game than it does on the next gen hardware.
Poor Microsoft.
Jared, you play Xbox. I
just want to
I don't know
point
what
out
to say.
before we say anything. I just want to point out in the bottom left, power your big ass bird. Kind of like, that's kind of a.
That's actually kind of cool. I kind of like that.
What are you doing there, Xbox?
Yeah.
It was a good attempt, but kind of
It's
made me
almost
laugh.
like, hey, you know what? Go with it. Just go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Go with it.
I don't know. I just look at specs like
Microsoft.
this, right? And I'm like looking at it, right? And it's like, man, why are we doing 3 consoles? I get it. You want to be able to just bring everybody along, but you're not for 2 years. We're not going to be seeing a actual legit designed Xbox Series S or X game. And even then, the hardware specs are so different between the S and the X. You're not going to have.
Yeah, just even
You know.
seeing it is just like the numbering right now is just come on. I mean,
look at the hardware difference, right? You look
for
at
me
the different.
personally,
the
yeah, I don't have a
performance
4K.
mode. Yeah.
I don't have a 4K, so I'm like, okay, eventually I will. But the levels are so dynamically different. Like they don't even show the Xbox discontinued specs. Like I don't even know, man.
I pretty much guarantee that the 1X is probably closer to what the Series S is running.
I think that's why they
Yeah.
like kind of shimmied that off the.
Yeah.
So
discontinued.
Jared, what do you think about this? Because I know you kind of dabble in all of them.
Yeah, I'm a universal whore with all of them, so I love them all. But I mean, I think we passed it's crazy. It's a crazy disparity, right? So clearly gonna get the X, and I think that if I remember right, I think the X is a little bit more powerful than the PS5, spec wise, right? And both are
If you're looking at teraflops, but
Yeah.
it's all depending on the architecture too, right?
Sure, but
That
that's kind of my
that
point.
difference of 2, it's like
Right. It's unremarkable difference, right? That's you're buying the same kind of thing. Even now, you're there isn't a huge difference, I don't think, between either. Unless you're playing Switch, and you play The Witcher on that from the PS4, you're gonna get hit pretty hard. But I don't know, man.
I'm just shocked at the load time.
I don't see the need for it. It feels like I don't know. It feels like we're just upgrading to upgrade. So, in my own opinion. What do you guys think?
So, are you going to be upgrading?
I mean, I am, because I'm addicted, right? I mean, I'm gonna be day one. I've already got both of them coming. So
Both PS5 and the Xbox.
PS5.
Yeah.
I will be upgrading to PS5.
Yeah.
Like,
But I agree, Jared. It's more of the addiction. No, I'm of course I'm gonna upgrade. What are you talking about? Yeah, you know what I mean. I totally get it. Do we need to right now? Usually when consoles launch, you don't really need to, because one, a limited amount of games for the foreign factor is limited. So actual PS5 games, there isn't a lot coming out. It's better if you wait, but do we want to wait?
for a few months.
We can't wait.
And I feel like we're just kind of hitting the sweet spot for PS4 and Xbox. If you have the HD PS4 and or the upgraded Xbox One, Scorpio or whatever, I don't even remember what it's called right now. But some of the new games come out they look amazing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Beautiful. And we're just kind of games like that are running smooth and no frame dips. And you guys know I played the living piss out of Sekiro, and that thing runs like a well-oiled machine on the new. It's just so smooth and so fast.
Mhm.
The game still gives me the shivers.
Well, and you got to think though, PS4 wise, we're getting Miles Morales, we're getting
So much
Horizon.
anger. So much anger is looming
know.
around me right now.
Yeah, we're getting Sackboy. You know, chances are we're getting God of War. So,
Right.
you know, it's the same
We're
thing.
gonna get a bunch of re-releases, man. That's what we're gonna get, because like I feel like we're just kind of grappling with what we're dealing the technology now, and now we're gonna throw this new thing in. We're gonna get all of the games that we loved re-released again with like slightly smoother, a couple new options, and more money. So, yay! I get to buy everything again. I'll buy Dark Souls for probably the 17th time. Man.
Yeah. And what's sad is like I think
Okay.
we're all okay with that. Like if they came out with a remake of all 3 Uncharted's for PS5,
I'll
oh
do
my
it.
god, yeah. Yeah.
It's just like the Mario 64. Did you guys buy the Mario 3D All Stars thing?
Yeah, I did.
Obviously, you bought it.
Jerry,
Awful, right? The camera makes me
here we
want to
go.
scream.
Right.
Okay, I'm just
I
gonna
did.
give you here. Just
Yeah.
give me my wallet. Yeah, I think it is one of those things that, you know,
And that
it's
wasn't
new
even an
hardware,
upgrade, right? That was just the same thing.
right?
They just made
They made it look pretty. I mean, they did make it HD.
Smoother, you know, like
original resolution though, so it's like really nice looking shittiness. But I mean, whatever. I dig.
Yeah.
But if
But we
if they
still
were
love
like
it.
full remakes, like 4, and put in like grappling hooks in number 1, oh my god,
Yeah,
I'd be all about it.
yeah.
You know what though? I would want it just. I don't know if I'd want grappling hooks in the first one. I love for what they have.
Demon Souls.
Right?
yes.
Yeah, you.
Oh my god, yeah.
I've been
How
waiting.
many times?
Oh
How
my
many times
god.
that can be for you buying it?
And it look,
Yeah, that
dude,
thing-
it looks
okay,
amazing
I'm
too.
not a Demon Souls fan, but that thing looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
The load times on that thing is ridiculous. I mean,
Dude,
it is.
the Dragonfire part, like, dude, just the animations.
Yeah, the animation looks seamless. Like it just.
Yeah.
I mean, to that point, I don't really want to play Ghost of Tsushima too much anymore, because they've already announced there is a PS5 upgrade, so to speak, where you're going to get a performance boost out of it, and I think it's going to be 60 frames per second long. I mean, it's like
New Game Plus, but I'm gonna finish it because I still got backlog to do before.
You gonna finish the game, Jay? You gonna finish the game?
Man, what is I finish games. I just had some bad luck with Final Fantasy.
Just a quick sidebar, and I have to ask. I'm sorry, since I have all you here. What did you think of the remake?
I have to finish it.
It's a Game of Thrones. You know, you can go all the way, just don't get to the end, and you'll be the last chapter, the last section. Don't do it, and you'll be perfectly.
We spent a good half hour debating this on an episode, and we both wrote articles for the website and stuff. But we both agreed it was like they took the ending. The ending of the game was so Kingdom Hearts, it was ridiculous.
It wasn't as much Kingdom Hearts. There was dibble dabble, but it was just more. So much. Here's fan service for you. This is what everybody wanted. And
now we're doing. Here's the thing: is they came out with an interview I think it was this week, where they're like, well, everything that was in the original you should expect in the next sequels and stuff like that. But the problem is that they've already established a new timeline, so they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
You know, Aerith's death could just be like this is what could happen if this timeline keeps going and whatever. And I think that was the thing that bothered me the most, is that they changed the timeline. You know, because at the end of the game, right, when you're fighting the Arbiter, right, and they're like, hey, if we lose, this is what happens. And what they show is Advent Children.
Yep.
So, which we know Advent Children takes place 2 years after the events of 7. So now you're saying, well, if we lost there, we're going to go here. If we win, we're going down this path. And then when you win, you go down that path. Guess what? Zach's alive.
And that's just.
They give him, and it's like that already changed it right there. Zach was supposed to die. That was the whole thing.
Your guys' hate was involving the storyline, it sounds like.
Yes. The game, okay, so the game mechanics were great because I love FF13. And it had so much of an FF13 to it that when you get used to the weapons and the abilities and everything, you can start chaining things together so quickly like you could in 13, that anybody who plays 13 is at home because of the ATB. Because that is the heart of 13.
You feel the real time a little.
Yeah.
But overall,
yeah.
I loved it, and I don't get me wrong, I love the voice actors and what they gave us, and we've had a whole ton of them on, right? We love John. I mean, we got to go out to lunch with John and on Austin, who plays Roche, right? When we were there in LA, we've had with Bree and Vic, and all of them is like they did the performance was fantastic, but you look at what Square Enix has done, it was partly the Kingdom Hearts crew. So I think they wanted to kind of do their Kingdom Hearts thing, but kind of keep it at 7, but remake it. And I think they kind of lost their way a little bit. And I think by having now come out and found out that FF16 has been in production all this time, even though it's a different business unit, you could have had that business unit helping make FF7 so much better. So to me, it was more of an 8 out of 10 versus the 10 out of 10 I originally thought it was starting.
Oh.
Yeah, that the ending really dropped it for me.
Yep. Like I said, if you Game of Thrones and you skip the last chapter, it is.
You're happy. Yeah.
Like, and I haven't even watched Game of Thrones, and I just hear about it, like how bad the last season was. But
so, what did you think of it, Jared?
Oh God, dude, you don't want to hear me rant. I'll give you the fast food version.
Okay.
So, you guys know when it's like a game that I love, like I get a little OCD obsessive, and like I have to get all the platinums and that shit. Like Sekiro, I like went through crazy, and I do that on all the consoles. So FF7 is literally probably the most awful platinum I've ever tried to get in my life, and I'm still like 1 away. It's just like top 3 versus secrets bullshit, like top secret boss. You have to fight, whatever. But like the game is broken. Like I thought going through like the normal mode, it was a lot of fun. Like, okay, this is cool, and I like the mechanics, and I felt like you did, Matt, at the start, because it got really smooth. But when you guys go through on master mode and like the extra hard or whatever the hell it's called,
hard mode,
hard mode, it's broken. Like the camera doesn't keep up, the targeting system like completely fails itself. Like you get in these battles where you're like staring at the side of a building and shit, and like it's just completely melts down. And so I've been like yelling at this thing for probably a month and a half, and do not have a good relationship. I didn't like how linear it was. I felt like it was almost like an on rails like RPG. Like you didn't really do anything. You just kind of walk down this hallway, and then you walk back down this hallway. I hated the chapter selection. It made me want to scream, like having to play through a whole chapter to get to like one checkpoint to go back and pick up something to unlock these other things for achievements. I hated that. You know,
the whole on rails argument, it's like people use that as an argument on why they hated FF13, but to me it's like FF13 was linear up until you got to Grand Pulse, and then everything opened wide up. You could go do wherever you wanted to, you go whatever you wanted to, but FF7 was like, nope, here you go.
And
that's what I was thinking it was going to do too, is when we first started out, it was going to be a little linear, but then I thought we were going to get like kind of an open, kind of like the original
moment, right? We're all like, where is it?
Like, right.
Well, I mean, like, but we are still on quote unquote disc 1.
Yeah.
Like we just left Midgar, and everything that happens inside Midgar pretty much is on rails.
Yeah.
It is on rails.
The other thing I really am like not a fan of this like generation of games that I think is like really came out more is this like forced action thing where I thought God of War like really stuck, where you had to chisel those doors, and it's just like this like unnecessary redundancy kind of thing. So it was like the robot arms in FF7. If you guys remember the robot arm part, like my God, when you play the game 17 times through to pick up these stupid achievements, that robot arm part will make you want to just pull your hair out. I swear to God. Finding the stupid chocobos and like all this stuff that you just have to keep doing over and over because the game is so linear. Like it doesn't let you jump from point to point because there's no way to do that. It's like a constant progression all the time. So for me, it's just like a serious design flaw, you know, for something I was really looking forward to. On the flip side, I thought it looked amazing. You know, like I was like, this is a really beautiful looking game. And like the music was amazing. And the Sephiroth fight honestly almost saved it for me. Like I was like, I was so pissed off through the whole thing. And that like moment with Sephiroth and okay, this is rad. All right, I'm in.
But the problem is you weren't supposed to fight Sephiroth until much later, though. That's the whole thing.
Right.
So that's kind of...
Yeah, that's why I'm like, for me personally, it's just like that fan services, but I get it.
And like
so let's talk about, you know...
And I thought they made his character just like awful, honestly. Like, I don't know what they did to Red and Barrett, like...
Bethesda.
Like...
Oh, Barrett, yeah.
All of it. It was just, there was a lot of like it felt like not a Square Enix title, because I feel like their stuff is always so polished. Like even if it's off a little bit, like 13 I thought was off, it's still so polished that like you can enjoy it and play it. And like the menus, the load times, like stuff was just off. It didn't feel like it was finished to me. But,
No.
So I wouldn't give it an 8.
So
I was sitting more like 5 or 6 land for me. But
So let's talk about a company that is notorious for not finishing their games, Bethesda.
Oh God. Not finishing their games and then releasing them as a full-fledged game. And
I think you can
And
finally
it's like-
play Fallout 76 now. So
Right. You know,
and get the full
Um,
experience finally.
so Phil Spencer did come out and say that they don't need Bethesda to be on anything else other than Xbox platform, right? And he said, and quote, you know, we have xCloud and PC and Game Pass and our console base. I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means. That was when he was asked about putting Elder Scrolls 6 on a PS5 to recoup the cost. So one, you're going to have to sell consoles. You can't rely on your PC base, even though Bethesda has a huge PC base because they mod everything, and it's not even their game anymore. It's whatever people make it.
Right.
And, you know, you look at Fallout, but honestly, it's like, dude, if you really want to keep making games, right, you should probably put on other platforms. That's why, like, I fully support Horizon and Death Stranding going to PC, because it gives Guerrilla more money to make better games, and it gives Kojima more money to make whatever project he wants to go make, whether it's a new Silent Hill or whatever cracked out dreamland wonderland he wants to put us into. You know, but I think that honestly, it's like that's counterintuitive what Phil's always been saying is cross-platform, right? Cross-platform. I don't see them making up $7.5 billion with Game Pass.
I mean, they got 2 years to do it, you know?
I mean,
But
I'm
Elder
going to
Scrolls
say it
6 is
again.
going to
But
be
I-
next
I-
year.
I'm just going to keep
That's
saying
what I
it
said.
with Microsoft. This is their baby. They're putting. It seems like they're putting all their cards into it.
yeah.
I think we just got to wait and see. Like, I mean, this is the forefront of like what is going to happen with the direction of gaming,
I think so.
and they're trying it out. I think they're putting their cards in this basket, and
And I think it's a
what's
good
gonna
move for
happen.
Microsoft, man. Like I feel like I was surprised Bethesda did it, but like their franchises really fit. Like Doom is a perfect fit for like the Xbox.
Well, yeah,
it's totally Microsoft.
And, like,
they've been Microsoft and
remember-
Bethesda have been hand in hand for a while, a long
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Mm.
And like it feels like Bethesda's kind of been moving away from, you know, the kind of MMORPG or, you know, the PC kind of universe. Like Skyrim's like a pretty, I mean, it's a single player experience. Like it feels like that's kind of what they're aiming towards with the Microsoft people. And even Doom, like the new Doom, like that was a super kind of like not as multiplayer as I hoped it would be, even though it felt like a Quake engine and all that kind of stuff. Like it just feels like the perfect fit. And I think Microsoft is gearing up because the argument's been like Sony has exclusive, Microsoft's just like a watered down PC for kids at home, right?
Mhm.
Up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that they have to compete with that.
Well, and I think too is I think you look at a knee-jerk reaction, like you look at the games like you were talking about with like Skyrim and what it does for them, right? They don't have that type of game in their portfolio. Whereas you look at Sony, Horizon is pretty much their Skyrim.
Yeah.
Horizon does it better. Guerrilla released a game that doesn't have game-breaking bugs in it. You know, it's polished, it's beautiful. Then you look at Nintendo, right? Not only do they have Breath of the Wild, you've got the second one incoming, which rumors are potentially next year. And you're looking at falling behind because right now, Nintendo has quietly really taken over this year, both in sales of the Switch and in the games they're putting out. I mean, you've got Pikmin 3 coming next week, which I'll be getting. Pikmin 3 is great. You got, you know, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity coming next month.
Well, and dude, Mario 35, that
And-
was a badass free game for like the people on the
Dude.
subscription service. I've been playing the piss out of it. Have you guys played that? It's so good.
Dude, that game. Okay, screw that game though, because sometimes you will get put in a position where there's so many things that have been laid out in front of you. You've got piranha plants, like stationary ones that don't move anywhere here, and you got to try and jump over them while you're dodging two Bowsers.
I think
I mean, it's ridiculous, but it's
nonstop.
it is so much fun, and
Yeah.
it's great when you knock people out because you know you screwed them over so badly with enemies.
I hope they do more with like the ranking system and start to get more like people involved, because right now it's still like there isn't really one, but it's a lot of fun, man.
You
Nintendo
can't do anything with the coins right now. And that's the other thing is all those coins you get from playing the games. Well, speaking good way, good segue into Nintendo with Mario and stuff. That was the 35th anniversary. It's also the 30th anniversary for Fire Emblem. And with that, they are, we're getting Fire Emblem coming to the Switch in terms of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. This is the original OG Fire Emblem that started it all up.
Oh,
So
dude, look at
it
that.
is-
That looks like the old school cartoons in the 90s, bro.
yeah.
That looks awesome.
and it's going to be the
Oh,
old
look at
school
that.
graphics. The very, very old school graphics. Now it's going to be $5.99 to buy through the eShop. This was from the original Famicom, so this wasn't even released on the NES. It was Famicom over in Japan. This has been localized for the first time. So for me, $5.99 for a localized version, sweet, cool. Here you go, because you had to pay somebody to do it.
All your base belongs to us now.
Yep. So it'll have over 50 characters, 20 classes. This is where Marth is originally from, which a lot of people, the first taste they even got of Marth was Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Kata, Greneth. I mean, classic characters are all in it.
That's cool.
So
I'm not gonna lie, I never played the Fire Emblems, but
I never played the
I've
original.
only ever known them from Smash Brothers, but
I've played
I
all of
never
them.
played the original. I'm
Except for the
going to play it.
original. Yeah, it was my
you
first.
played them all?
Except for the original. I haven't played this one.
Oh, sick.
My first foray into it was Path of Radiance on the GameCube.
That one was
the first
great.
time I'd ever play.
Yeah.
Dude, and that game kicked your ass too.
Yeah.
It made you pay for your mistakes.
And like, I know it punished you for your mistakes. Like, oh, this character is gone. I was like,
Yeah. There was no rewind
sick.
like in Three Houses. So here is the collector's edition. It's going to be $49.99. It's coming with a deluxe
dude.
art book,
Oh,
a
look
little
at
mini
that
Nintendo
face.
Power replica.
Power is sick.
That is a replica cartridge.
Dude, it even
That's
comes with
what
the
I'm saying.
slide cover, man.
The cartridge
Yes.
with the slide cover.
The
That is
slide cover, bro. Oh, the box looks like from the original time too. Oh, that's sick.
So this is going to be coming out on December 4th. If I was a bigger Fire Emblem fan, I would absolutely jump on this.
Yeah, but if I was also like a collector or something, like this looks like it's gonna be hard to get.
Yep.
This is gonna be one of those. This is gonna be popular.
But it's a lot for what you're getting for $50. I mean, you're getting a replica box, the book. They're even giving you an instruction booklet.
I think that's
right.
So I mean, the book looks pretty. The art book, I love the design on that and whatnot. So absolutely, I think this is fantastic that they're
love
doing
the
this.
cartridge and the slide cover, bro. That's just so sick.
And here's the other thing is though, this is only going to be available till the end of March, like they're doing with the Mario 3D All Stars.
Oh wow, okay.
So it makes me wonder what Nintendo has up their sleeves that you have all these limited release titles that are going to be done the end of March.
Or they're just like adapting the Disney Vault model, and we got to keep buying things over and over again every year.
But with an addition, I think their next move is that they're gonna remake Fire Emblem for Switch.
That'd be sick if they did a remake. That'd be so.
I think they're gonna do a like.
Gimme-
They're squeezing what they can from the original, which is what I think they're doing now, and I think they might be doing like a remake or like a
They're
an
probably
All-Stars
gonna
Collection. Give me,
release all the older ones.
give me Path of Radiance. I would love Path of Radiance.
Yeah, I mean,
There's
So-
so many games on GameCube. Like they haven't really done a lot of
Oh,
remakes.
yeah,
I'd
dude.
love to have a ton of GameCube remakes.
Mhm.
but
Dude, could
I
you
mean,
imagine? Let's remake Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rogue Squadron, man. Was
It's just nuts that like all these games now are getting like their 30 year, their 35, 25.
Makes you feel old too.
Yeah.
all that means.
I mean, it's
We're
just
old.
it's bringing that nostalgia back, and Nintendo is like the king of nostalgia. I mean, like if they even had something where you could blow the cartridge, then like it'd be over.
Yeah, right.
But
Well, hold on though, because during the Lego Nintendo ad though, they actually show someone kind of
Oh, yeah,
blowing in
doing
the
that.
cartridge for
That
it,
was
so.
funny.
but I mean, like,
so,
you're having 20 years now, and like, there is no doubt that they're gonna re-release all these games.
Well, you got to think we're coming up on the 35th anniversaries for Zelda and Metroid as well.
I was like, "Where's the Zelda remake?" Come
Yeah,
on.
Zelda, Metroid.
I think that's. I
Donkey
think we're gonna
Kong to a
get.
certain
I think
degree.
Zelda's next year.
Donkey
I think
Kong.
Metroid's the year after.
I hope they do like a Metroid Prime. I know that they've been talking about that.
I
forever.
want.
Don't get
I
that
want
started.
Prime-
Don't get that started.
Yeah.
So Prime.
That's-
I want a Prime trilogy. Like re-release that prior to. I mean, Prime 4. It's already well into production now, so I'm guessing we're probably about 2 years out. Really, if I want to be realistic,
I mean, we've had our predictions with Metroid. We think
I think it's
a-
2022.
yeah.
Wow.
So we'll see. So let's talk about Mr. Drake, Mr. Nathan Drake. Look at that pretty boy there, Nolan
look at
North.
that.
See this.
So this is actually
this brings confidence.
this
oh my
is a
God.
set photo from the set with Nolan North, who, if anybody has
He's
not
the man.
played Uncharted, which I highly recommend, it's one of my absolute favorite series. Nolan North is Nathan Drake,
He's the
and
man.
he is there talking with Tom Holland, who is playing Nathan Drake.
Oh,
So before we actually reveal Tom Holland in garb, look at this. This is one of the set photos. So Nathan Drake is up to his old shenanigans again. He's going after shit
Sick.
he shouldn't. And
I don't
then
recognize
they kind
that.
of
So they're doing an earlier.
No, this
Well, he's a younger
prequel.
Nathan Drake, anyways. Yeah. So
Yep, it's a prequel to one. And then they have this book. They purposely have blurred out the bottom left-hand corner so you can't really see who that is in the picture. But it is big enough to where you can actually, if you really blew up the picture, you can
Captain, right?
actually read some of it. But it'll be interesting to see what it is. So let's take a look.
Damn.
I'm not mad at it.
No, I mean it looks great.
Yeah.
He looks the part. He looks like a young Nathan Drake. And that's the thing is I had no problem with Tom Holland being Nathan Drake at all. I want to see Mark Wahlberg as Sully. And I think that's going to be the thing is like originally he was supposed to be Nathan Drake, and then Project Hell put it into like the seventh circle of hell. If we're talking Dante's Inferno, talking about old 360 games and stuff. But he looks great. I think in that if Nolan North is signing off on it, I have huge faith in this movie.
I have more faith on this because of this picture and the fact that Nolan North, because he covets this character. Like this is his baby. And
Yes.
yeah, but I'm still very curious on Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Wahlberg freaks me out. Wahlberg freaks me out on everything that he does.
I mean, if it's like an action movie, I'm okay. I'll see it. Like I know what I'm going to get from Wahlberg. But this is a coveted character where you need to do research, you need to play the games, you need to see what you need to bring this character to life, but also like pay homage to the fans have expectations.
Yeah, you don't want to pull a Street Fighter. You don't want to pull a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Or Mario.
So like, or actually,
Low
key, dude, I appreciate that Mario Brothers movie, man. No joke, it's terrible. It's terrible.
I am so glad I'm not the only one.
Something sweet about that movie. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you know how Big Trouble in Little China is a bad movie, but it's awesome. That's how I kind of feel about Mario Brothers.
All right.
I know it's terrible. Oh, man, that Yoshi.
Yoshi's one that did it.
Oh my god.
Oh man, Bob Hoskins.
Dennis Hopper is what did it for me.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper was the Goombas. Oh my god, bro.
Dude,
you see what I mean? Everybody remembers it. It was gold, but it was such a bad movie.
It was a bad incarnation of his character in Waterworld.
Yeah. Yes.
With the resurgence of all these video game movies, like they're getting better.
Mortal Kombat's getting rebooted. Mortal Kombat's getting rebooted.
They're getting better. Resident Evil's getting a reboot too.
Thank God.
But like,
yeah, no kidding.
I believe
we won't talk about Monster Hunter.
Oh God, no.
Oh please.
So I talked to Darren about that. Speaking
really?
of Monster Hunter, and he and the Rupees feel it is absolutely going to be abysmal, just like we did.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's straight up. Mila Jovanovic like squeezed the Resident Evil juices, and now they were like, okay, what else can we suck dry? Monster Hunter, great. We're going to get another 7 movies of Monster Hunter now.
What you could do, but
no joke. I mean, if she's got fans, bro. She's got fans.
Fallout wasn't available.
She's at least going to squeeze 3 Monster Hunter movies. At least.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I give you at least 4.
Yeah, I'll give you 4 on that one.
We're not even subtracting. Like legit, she's going to get like maybe 3 or 4 of those movies. So bad.
So Jared, in between all this shenanigans that you've had going on with your career and stuff like that, have you been able to squeeze in anything really other than trying to get a platinum for FF7?
No, I've been playing tons of games, man. Actually, it's just a lot of I just started really diving into Doom. I had a lot. I waited on that one. That one was really good. The second one that came out because I think it was like the Game Pass one or whatever. And then I started in the Ghost of Tsushima, but then I saw that they're going to be, re-releasing the HD version. So I was like, oh, I want to wait on that probably. And I've literally been playing Mario 35 like nonstop, probably for 2 weeks. Like I can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And and then FF7 obviously, and then I still like do Sekiro runs like every week. So
oh God. I felt a gust of wind on the back of my neck.
Sensei, please.
I'm down to like a solid like 3 hours. I can do the whole game, so that's pretty scary.
Wait, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Damn.
Yeah, it took me an hour and a half to keep dying.
Oh, dude, that game's brutal.
It really is, dude. It kind of broke me, but I'm gonna go back to it.
Yeah, no, I try to pick it up for like half an hour at a time because I'm still fighting one mini boss, one of the lords.
Which one? Where are you at?
Oh, I'm still way in the beginning, but the long spear guy. Oh my god, I fought him so many times I should know his name. He's at the like the top of the hill temple.
Oh, the 7 spears, Ashina?
Yeah, 7 spear guy. Yeah, that guy. Like
I'm at
bastard, dude. No, he's definitely top.
I'm still at the first time you meet the giant that was.
Oh, the chained ogre.
Yeah, that was chained up.
Chained ogre.
Yeah. I've been getting my ass kicked. That was where I got my ass kicked.
And it's just.
Well, you're still at Hell House, so
I'm like, you know what? I need to just stop. Like.
Oh God, Hell House on hard mode. Oh my God.
Okay, Jerry, hold on. Jerry hasn't beaten Hell House on normal.
Oh my God.
I haven't beaten the game yet.
Oh man. Well, it's painful. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was hard. It was hard.
I got distracted. Haven't beaten the game yet.
It was like hard to stay with it.
So Jerry, speaking of distractions, what have you been playing other than COD? Which Halloween is awesome on COD right now.
COD's been a lot of fun. I've been focusing on Ghost. I'm at the final mission, so I'm gonna finish it tomorrow.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
You guys play Neo too? Anyone? I missed that one.
I have not played that.
Neo
2.
NIOH.
NIO, yeah.
Oh, actually, no. I kind of missed out on those. Those look like almost kind of look like Oh man. What?
Similar to Sekiro. Similar to.
But also, what was that one samurai game for PS2 that was also like you were a samurai and fought demons? Oh man,
I don't remember. I should remember.
I forgot,
Oh,
man.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think I do know what you're talking about. I think the red, right? He's wearing the red suit.
Yeah, red
Cool.
samurai suit. You found, then you sucked the souls of the demons that you killed.
Onimusha.
Onimusha. Yeah, it had kind of Onimusha. Thank you. It had kind of Onimusha a feel to it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Onimusha meets Dark Souls. It's definitely like they pulled a lot from the FromSoft game and Onimusha, and it's good, man. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's not as like, I don't think it's as abusive as the FromSoft stuff, so it's like a little bit more mainstream, which is probably good.
Sick.
Yep.
But I missed the second one.
Jason?
It was really good.
What do you got playing?
You are gonna
Besides
laugh.
14. Oh God.
You are gonna laugh at me.
Oh no.
So, a couple of my coworkers was like, "Hey Jay, do you play games?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I do." Do you have a PC? Yeah. Well, we're looking for another person for Division 2.
Oh, shut up.
So, guess who's level 23 right now going through this mission?
Oh
mode?
my god, you suck, bro.
Doing Story strongholds
You-
right now.
You suck, bro. You know how many times we've asked you to play that game? You're
With us?
us. You're
That's why you
bro,
guys gonna
dude.
laugh. You guys are gonna laugh.
Really?
But, you know,
No, I'm
people-
not gonna laugh. That
we're
pisses me
pissed.
off, man. You know how much time Matt and I put into those games,
You
bugged
were.
me, and asked you to play with us? Man, you know what? I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
Oh.
Oh,
I'm leaving. I'm done.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, okay. Hold on though, Jared. I'd be more upset if he jumped on like a first-person shooter than Division.
That is true. Now you gotta pick out
But
with
that
us.
being said, how many times have Jerry and I talked about playing Division? And you were like, no, I don't want to do it. I got FF14. And then the moment we stop playing because there's other stuff to play and just Division is not fun solo anymore,
Yeah.
you start playing.
What a jerk.
It was
You
on
sir
sale.
Dude, bro.
Hold on. Do you know how many times
Bro.
Division 2 has been on sale on
Dude.
PS4?
The Division has been on sale for like a minute. For like a good while, bro. Yeah.
Hell, I have a disc copy I could have sent you with my care package.
No,
And you
my
could have played
God.
with us.
That's why I was like, you know what? I know, like, but I'm gonna keep 100 right now. Keep 100, but you know, it's just I knew you guys were gonna be like, oh, this man.
It's okay, man. It's okay. I'm not
But,
angry. I'm just
yeah,
disappointed.
with
I'm
all the
disappointed.
remakes going on, I'm still curious why we've never had like a MechWarrior remake. Did you guys ever play like MechWarrior 2? And that's
God,
Amen.
no, Warrior.
I never got to play those. I
Mech
never
Assault.
played them.
Legit.
Mech Assault on the old Xbox.
yeah.
Man, give me that Timberwolf.
Just
Give me
jumping
that and
out,
the Direwolf.
jumping out the trying to snipe him right in the cockpit. Oh man.
And I think honestly, I don't think we'll ever get one because Titanfall was so good.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
But
Titanfall just did so much more for out of cockpit maneuvering, just maneuvering
Especially in
with the
two.
mechs.
Two was
Titanfall 2, that raised the bar for mech games.
yeah, but it just wasn't. It's not McQuarrie, man. Like,
And I think MechWarrier's been gone long enough out
Yeah.
of the mainstream. You know, it's still been alive
It
and
can
well
make a
on the
good comeback.
It's like Descent, you know, like getting a Descent.
Yeah, Descent was sick too. Yeah.
Yo,
Descent on the OG PS1.
Yeah. I played
Descent on the Mac, dude.
Do you even know what a Mac is?
You know, it's
PC keyboard and
Oh, and I just played through
What?
Ori Blind Forest on
You know,
Switch.
it's-
Like that game was really good. You guys play that one?
I need to
What-
I still
haven't
gotta
tried
play
that.
I still have to play the first Ori. I've got it on my Switch. I started it. I gotta finish
Really
it.
Oh
good,
no,
man.
I want to play those too.
Yeah, they're
Still
hard
need
as
to
nails.
finish Cuphead. But yeah, I've been doing Ghost of Tsushima, been working on my island. The old Animal Crack is now up to like 550 hours.
I still have never played an Animal Crack game. I think I need to, but I'm
I
afraid.
turned
No,
mine in.
don't do it, Jared. Don't do it. Don't
I
do it,
turned
man.
mine in.
The upside is though
The only I will
build
tell
it
you this,
with
Jared, it's one
Harper.
of those games where you kind of like you have to dedicate time every day to it.
It's like
Think
fun.
of like
Oh,
every RPG you've
Hold
ever
on.
played, and then that's the amount
Hold
of time
on.
you need in Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
No. I could jump in for 5-10 minutes and do my little daily run to get my fossils and make my money, and I can be done with it.
But do you? That's the question.
After how many
No,
Okay.
hours of
don't.
landscaping? And,
That's what we're
Jerry?
talking about.
Jerry, you
You gotta
and
find
my
out.
wife both.
Tom Nook is a
I'm getting
crook.
both hit at the same time.
See? That's the question. But do you only go 10 minutes? No.
No.
That's what I mean, man. And I bought the game, I'm not gonna lie. I tried it out. It was really enjoyable. But it was like, oh shit, like I gotta monitor this or this will grow or I'll miss this. Yeah, it was too much of a commitment for me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
but yeah, Mario 35. Did a demo for Pikmin 3. It plays a lot better than it did on the Wii, the Wii U. And COD, that's been pretty much it. I haven't played much outside of that. Yeah. So as we close things out, I want to give a shout out to the Rusty Rupees, who this past weekend recorded their 50th episode.
Nice.
So congrats. Congrats on the 5-0. I was giving Jonte some crap, and I was like, hey, maybe one of these days Darren will send us an invite and we'll be on their podcast. And they said they've been talking about having us on. So we're talking some things. You know, we've got the big 100 coming up, but you know, we're mapping out all our guests because there's a couple I'm working on for us right now. But yeah, so Jared, with everything that you've had going on, so why don't you let the listeners know what your social media, where they can find you at now that things have changed for you,
where they can follow, where they can get all of your new music, everything.
Just go to Blazar, Blazar. That's like Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, just everything. That's kind of where I am. See a picture of me and come follow. I'm super active and I talk to everyone on my Twitter and yell about video games. I yell about politics. I do a lot of yelling. I yell about food. But yeah, definitely come follow and come hang out. And I do game constantly. Like I think my PSN and Xbox handles are on my Twitter too. So I'm online all the time. And
yeah. So with that being said, Jared, thank you for coming back on again. I know it's been a while. We've been talking about this for quite some time. So just glad we finally were able to get you on.
Yeah, man.
We gotta have you on a lot sooner than 77 episodes. That's a lifetime
and also
ago, man.
Congratulations on everything, man. Really, it's well deserved.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Just grinding along like the rest of us. So
yeah.
And to all our listeners, thank you for crashing game night. During these times, guys, this has helped out a lot for me personally with some things going on in my life. For those that follow me on social media, you guys kind of know what today marked and whatnot. So thank you guys for crashing with us and being on this journey, because this is 97. We got a couple more weeks. We're going to be recording 100, Who'd have thought people would want to keep listening to us for 100 episodes? But they do, and they love us for it. So thank you guys.
We love them.
If this is the first time listening to us, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And you did enjoy it, please just hit that subscribe button so you can get all your episodes up to date on that podcast platform you're listening to us on. Don't forget to follow us on Crash Game Night on YouTube, at CGN Podcast on Twitter. Everyone just be excellent to each other during these times. Stay frosty, especially as we're leading into, November 3rd. I can't stress it enough. Get out and vote. Make sure you're voting, voting how you want to vote, but voting is absolutely critical right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, nerds of all ages, we would like to say goodbye, but we also want to say, hey, stay safe. And also always show support to the artists, to the gamers, to just the people, and show support to Black Lives Matter once again. The fight is always going on, and segueing into support the artists like Mr. Fink that joined us today. Thank you so much for joining us and talking games and spending a little time with us. Thank you very much, guys.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
Yeah, and definitely a shout out to. I will need to pick your brain on Sekiro, man. Like, you will be my sensei for the next few weeks. But
sensei, it's senpai.
But just like Jerry said, be safe. Social distance. We are not out of this pandemic. We are getting into flu season now, so get your flu shots. If you haven't gotten them, and
stay safe.
Stay safe. For all those out there in wildfires, in hurricanes and earthquakes.
Wildfires. I got to give a shout out with that, Jason, to Colorado, because a new fire started in Estes Park, and Estes Park is being evacuated, which is one of my favorite places in the world. It was ravaged by the flood years ago, and now it's on fire. Pictures of it make it look like San Francisco.
Yeah, so definitely all you guys out there, stay safe. Everywhere else out in the world, stay safe as well. You just because we know of our stuff in the U.S. doesn't mean that we don't know your stuff in other parts of the world. So we just want everybody to keep gaming. Enjoy everything that we do, because we enjoy that you guys listen to us. We want to thank you. Definitely a shout out to Mr. Blazar over there.
Woo!
And
rocking the Nintendo pants.
Yeah. I'm in my work.
And
nice.
Keep it at Nintendo, sir.
Jason, send us out.
For Theo, for Theo, Theo Newman as well. I didn't hear from you this week, but it's okay. I want you to feel better. I'm coming for you for that 100. We coming for you. But anyways, TTFN. Ta for now. Okay.